Hey guys, so Lord here, back in with another action figure review. Today I'll be taking a look at the TMNT X Universal Monsters Donatello as the Invisible Man. Brought to us by the fine folks over at Neca Toys. Donatello is the final turtle in this TMNT X Universal Monsters crossover line for now. We're actually going to get Leonardo as the creature of the Black Lagoon and Raphael as the Wolfman at some point, but as far as having 4 brothers in this line, Donatello is the last one. And if I'm being honest, I would have preferred him as Dracula, not gonna lie, but at the same time, it looks like Shredder is eventually gonna be Dracula when Neca finally decides to put that out. I don't know what's going on because, well, they seem to be going full bore with turtles, but not really with these. And as far as my turtle collecting goes, I pretty much only buy these. So, you know, kind of weird. That said, my Target also doesn't like to carry the NECA stuff I like to buy. They don't have a lot of these TMNT Universal Monsters crossover figures. They don't have a lot of the gargoyles. Even the regular Universal Monsters line, they'll have them, but then when I go to buy them, they're gone. They're like all gone, even though they had like half a dozen of them. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. Your Target may differ from mine, and I'm sure it does, but yeah, collecting NECA in my area kind of sucks. So, to say that I'm shocked I was able to get this guy at my local Target, as well as the Casey Jones we looked at earlier today. Check that out if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it if you did. It says a lot, because they don't get a lot of the NECA stuff I like to buy. So, moving on from that, let's cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review. Taking a look at Donnie's accessories, because he's got a metric buttload. Starting off with the hands, he's got a pair of fist hands, or just really tight grip hands, but you can totally use them as fists. They are definitely close enough for that. We also have 2 kind of open hands, or relaxed hands, whichever. We also have a pair of various grip hands. This one is a little bit more open. This one is a lot more open. And all these appear to have like the same hinge. They don't appear to have like an up and down hinge, which kind of sucks because that's the hinge I would prefer, especially with his bow staff. Let me check the tightly clenched grip hands here. Those definitely don't have them. And neither do those. So yeah, he does not appear to have the correct hinge for holding stuff, which kind of stinks, but whatever. You also get a pointy finger hand and a splayed out hand. Now on the other figures, at least I think the Leonardo, he had 2 pointy finger hands and 2 of these kind of open hands. I would have liked 2 of these open hands because I like them for you know, creepy monster poses. But, you know, Invisible Man's not really known for that. That said, he also has a pair of interchangeable feet that are cast in this clear plastic here. And, you know, they have the rotation here, and then they do have the hinge in the foot with the rocker joint. And they get the peg holes at the bottom of the feet, just like the ones on him. So, you know, you got a lot of options there. We do have an alternate head, which is a little bit quirkier looking. We don't have a clear head, though, which is kind of weird, because wasn't he supposed to come with one of those? Am I tripping? Did I miss something in the advertisement for this figure? I thought he was supposed to have a clear head. But this one's cool, I guess. It's very weird looking. And he's got hair. Why does he have hair? Shouldn't it be invisible? I don't know. Very weird, but that's kind of the nature of this line. It's a quirky line. It's crazy. I like the goofier looking heads. I might display him with that. I'm not sure. I have Mikey with the crazy, you know, smiling head. That said, we also get his Freddy Krueger hat, which I will put on him right now, actually. Set it on his head like that. Sort of easier said than done, if I'm being honest. Because you don't want to mess up his little goggles there, but there you go. There he is with his hat. It's kind of resting on there. And then as far as actual, like, holdable accessories, he comes with a book. I think this is a reference to the ooze that turned him into the turtles. He also comes with this little cup here with a stirring stick. I think that's what that is. He comes with one of those. And then he also comes with a little itty-bitty microscope, which I didn't have to worry about taking out of the box. It was fairly loose in the box for me. But I will say, be careful with this thing when you pop it out. You don't want to snap it. But that said, the last thing, the main thing, is his bow staff. And there are two little ribbons on his back that hold this on. They fell off mine. I still have them, but they just came untied and fell right off. So I just stick it through the strap on his back and don't really worry about it too much. That said, if I take his hat off here, take a closer look at Donnie as the Invisible Man. I will say his goggle thingies do come off here. You could see his eyes underneath, or what would be his eyes. I will also say that the heads do not have articulation at the base of the skull. It's only the neck here. While I'm not a fan of that typically, it makes life a little easier when it comes to swapping things. At least that head doesn't. Maybe this one does? Oh, this one has a joint at the base of the skull, so never mind. It's just the alt head, but you do have to pop it off at the neck in order to swap the head out. Kind of like the Xanatos I looked at a couple of weeks ago from the Gargoyles line. It's very much like that. Actually, that was a few weeks ago now, wasn't it? Time flies when you're making videos about little plastic people. That said, as far as Donnie's articulation goes, he's got a swivel in the neck and technically in the head, but you're mostly going to get it out of the neck. It's easy enough to pop off, though. If it's a little tough for you, use heat. Hashtag don't break your toys. He does have a hinge in the shoulder that moves out, back down, rotates. He's got a hinge in the elbow, double jointed elbow with the swivel. And I think the lower arm swivels too. A little hindered by the elbow pad, but it'll get out of the way. It's got a swivel in the wrist with a hinge. Are these fist hands? Oh, these are actual fist hands. So, he's got fist hands on him in the package, dummy. And then you got grip hands to swap on. I thought these were open. Okay, never mind. I will say, I like the coat he's got. He's wearing like this trench coat here. I would have preferred the smoking jacket and the fez for the Invisible Man. That's a more iconic look. I guess they could have given us both the fedora and the fez, but the smoking jacket, you would have got more range out of the torso, because as it stands, it does kind of shift side to side a bit here. If you could see that, let me move his arms up. You can see it does kind of shift, or tilt rather, side to side, but you can't rotate the darn thing, and you can't crunch like at all, but you do get some tilt. That said, his shell on the back is clear with little pizza slices in it, probably to look like he's eating some pizza, if I had to guess. Does it translate the best? Kinda. I think the main problem is he's got the coat on, and it's not above the shell, and, you know, the part behind the shell here is the same color as the coat. It's not clear. If that wasn't the case, it'd probably look a little better. It looked like it was just clear back there, but, you know. It's a freaking... First of all, the franchise is called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's stupid from the get-go. So, the fact that this is a thing, why is that surprising to anybody, you know? The concept itself is freaking ridiculous. That said, his hips are squeaky. That one's a little less squeaky. But they're not extremely tight to where you need to put something in there to help them move. They do move fine. Does he have a waist cut? I don't think so. But he does have a little bit of a thigh swivel in there, I think. Yeah, he's got a thigh swivel in there. As far as doing kicks go, he can't really do them. He can move out about that far. He does have a double knee, though, but trying to get it to work. If you rotate it all the way around, you'd probably get it to work. It's like, woo! Yeah, I can't really get it to bend at that top joint. It only wants to bend like once. Most of your knee hinge is probably going to come from the bottom. So swiveling that back around. He does have the, nothing at the lower leg, but he does have a calf cut with a hinge in the foot and a rocker and peg holes at the bottom of the feet. Of course, he's got the wrapped feet. He's got clear hands to go with the clear feet. Probably noticed that before. But, yeah, I think one of the stronger releases in this line, just based off the accessories you get and the fact that everyone's got a hard-on for Donatello for some reason. So, he's the best turtle ever. To each their own, I guess. He was always my second favorite as a kid, but now I think I like Leonardo a lot. But I guess in the 80s cartoon, Leonardo was kind of a cuck or something. I don't know. But, or jerk off, jerk face, whatever. But, you know, I don't hate Donatello. I would say my least favorite turtle ever was Mikey. I never really cared about Mikey a whole lot. Raphael was always my favorite, so the fact that we're getting another Raphael and he's a werewolf is friggin' awesome for me. But with all that being said, before this drags out any longer than it already has, because I'm sure, like Casey Jones, it's going to be pushing 20 minutes, let's move right along, take a look at some size comparisons. Not sure how that got there. Out of the way here. We'll bring in good old Raphael here. There we go. That's better. So, taking a look at some size comparisons here. There is the money shot. All four monster turtles from the TMNT Universal Monsters crossover line from the fine folks over at Neca Toys, all together at long last, looking pretty sweet. So it looks like Mikey's the smallest, followed by Donatello, then Raph, and Leo is just a big fat hunka chunka burning chungus over there. I mean, he is as thick as he is tall. I mean, seriously. Well, probably Raphael's probably the tallest, because Leo is a hunchback after all, but he's the biggest one. And in my opinion, if the turtles are going to be different sizes, I prefer Raph to be the biggest one. So when that Creature of the Black Lagoon Leo comes out, I think that will be a little bit better scale. I think. We'll have to wait and see. But there they all are, looking pretty sweet indeed. Moving all of them out of the way, though. One at a time, so we don't have a cataclysm. Gotta tell you, when I was getting all these guys out for not just this video, but the Casey Jones video I did earlier today, my DC Multiverse Man-Bat took a spill and almost annihilated the shelf he was on. So that was not good. Thankfully, I was able to stop it before it got any worse than it already was, but screw you toe joints, you know? I don't like those, and I knew there was a reason I didn't like those. That said, this of course would not be one of my videos without the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulus, or the 11 Spawn. So there they are. Also rocking the toe joints, but I usually don't have a problem with him falling down, though he might be retired at some point. There is another Spawn that we'll be taking a look at pretty soon here that might take his place, but until then we got him to hold down the fort, right? So with all that being said, now move right along and wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, and out of the 4 brothers in the TMNT Universal Monsters crossover line from the fine folks over at Neca Toys, I gotta tell you that good old Donatello here is the one that makes the most sense, in my opinion, because he's supposed to be the brains of the 4. So, you know, picking the Invisible Man, or I guess Dr. Frankenstein, because they do have a very heavy Frankenstein's monster theme going with this line, it just makes sense for this character. Now, will we get another version of him like we are with Leo and Raph? I'm not too sure. If we do, I would not be opposed to getting the Dracula version like in the old Playmates days, or, you know, again, a Dr. Frankenstein to go with the Frankenstein's monster theme we already have going pretty heavy in this line, would also be pretty cool, if I do say so myself. But for what this guy is he my favorite? Probably not, but he does make a lot of sense and fits in nicely with the line. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and until next time... Weird. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.